What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at one of the best exercises there is for your overhead pushing strength, which is transferable to the handstand push-up, and that exercise is the pike push-up. But before we get into the video, I want to announce the winner from last week's giveaway, which is Mike Hawk. He just won an SM hoodie, the one that I'm wearing right now, and an SM back. If you want to participate on the next week's giveaway, comment within the first 60 minutes of this video and get a chance to win any SM apparel or SM equipment. And without further ado, I'll see you guys in the video. What is up, guys? Welcome to another hand balancing tip. Today I'm going to show you how to do a proper pike push-up. So a pike push-up is one of the best, if not the best, overhead pushing movement pattern that you can do to build the upper body strength, especially for handstand presses, bend arm presses, and millions of doors are going to open up for you. But a lot of people do it wrong because it is hard. Even if you want to scale it up, you begin with regular pike push-ups or even hands elevated, it's easier, then hands on the floor, then you would go into elevated pike push-ups with the feet on the box, then you go into negative handstand push-ups and then handstand push-ups, so that's for expansion. We're way too far. For the pike push-ups, it's a very hard movement, and I really don't want you guys to get discouraged from it. I actually want you guys to get discouraged instead of saying I can bang 10 pike push-ups, because I cannot. With good proper form, I cannot do 10 pike push-ups and I can do 5 good handstand push-ups. So the reason is because it is almost the same amount of load that you put into the shoulders. So for the pike push-ups, I'm gonna give you just a side tip. You probably saw it on Instagram somewhere else. It's about putting some blocks in your wrist. That way, the most important part of not only a pike push-up but a push-up to really develop strength is that your elbow is in alignment with the wrist or even slightly forward. You never want to push it behind. Now this one, I can trick myself and I can be right here. So if you really want to take it up a notch, put it right there. Your entire forearm is touching and your palm is as close to the block as possible. And you lean forward, and that's a proper push-up, and this is a proper pike push-up. Now, for the pike push-up, rule number 1, do not ever allow your wrist to go behind your elbow to go behind your wrist. Do not ever allow your shoulders to flare out and get into an internal rotation. That's really going to put a lot of pressure on the shoulders. Create external rotation, not by opening the hands, which might help at the beginning, especially for the leaning portion, but by wrapping those triceps in. Imagine, if you're in the yoga community, you've heard it most, is wrap the armpits together. What all that means is basically externally rotating your shoulders and closing this gap right here and activating the external rotators of your shoulders. But you're going to wrap the triceps in, lean forward. Now you begin in an elevated position. You begin almost like a handstand push-up position or a handstand position. As you come down, your scapula naturally will depress, and as you go towards the floor, you push up. Millions of tips that I can give you there. I'm gonna try to keep it as concise as possible. First one, maintain tension. What that means is as you go down and you are in the lower portion of the pike push-up, if you relax, your body is gonna have to reactivate back again to push yourself up. So keep that same activation, the same way you do a row. And when you come here, you don't do the entire stretch, but keep that scapula activated. It is the same here. So you want to keep always pushing while you're coming down and keeping those elbows in. So a good practice for the elbows in and all that stuff is doing something like this. So you are here, and then for not to flare out, you are right here. So you're basically in a box. And the only way that you can go is forward and you push up. You don't push back. If you push back, that's gonna happen. And if you open the shoulders, that's gonna happen. You wanna lean forward and push yourself up. Now, if your hamstrings are way too tight, bend your legs slightly. Don't worry about if you're not in a complete pike. You can bend your legs. The most important part is that your arms are straight. Another tip is go slightly wider depending on your shoulder flexion. If you are shoulder width, you're only going to be able to get to your maximum range of motion. If you go slightly wider, you're actually going to have a little bit more range of motion on your shoulder flexion, which is going to allow you to, when you push up, then you are not here, but you have a decent amount of shoulder flexion. That's one thing. Another tip, you can do it in 2 movements. I'm going to break it down in 2 movements, but ideally you want to make it in 1. The 2 movements are, you are pushing, then you are shoulder flexing, then you go back, and then you release. How that looks like is, you lean forward, then you push, and then you go back. Then you lean, you go forward, push, and then you go back. If you want to make it in 1 movement, I'm going to elevate my hands, because as you can see, I'm tired. Elevate your hands, which allows you for greater range of motion, but it's easier. Then from here, you go forward, and then as you push up, you are already bringing your shoulders into flexion, because we gotta remember that as we push up, our scapula will naturally tend to elevate. It is really awkward to have your scapula depressed and back. It puts a lot of pressure on the shoulder and the shoulder joint. You want to elevate when you're in shoulder flexion, and it's the same way that you want to depress when you are in shoulder extension. So that's for another shoulder biomechanics breakdown. Another tip, as you saw probably in the video, my feet lift off from the ground. That means that I'm doing it right, because you want to put as less weight into the feet as possible. You want to make them as light as you can possibly be, basically flying out. So one variation of the pike push-up would be to go forward, lift it up, and then go into pressing. Make your feet light. It's all about transferring the force. This is really going to help you for curl, crane, and even straight arm presses, even though you're bending your arms. If you get this leaning right and that fierce sensation, it's really going to benefit you. If you want to put a block to reduce the range of motion, feel free to do so. If this is still too hard, go to regular push-ups, get the leaning sensation, master those, get to 10 to 12 repetitions of those, and then move on into pike push-ups. This is a very hard exercise, and I only program it if you're doing it right. That's why I'm spending an entire tip just on the pike push-up. Your scapula, we know it naturally elevates and it naturally depresses when you're coming down. However, there is this famous misconception or famous controversy of, should we be protracted or should we be retracted? The answer is, it depends up to you. Naturally, your scapula should be on neutral with a slight retraction that puts your shoulders in the right position, and it actually allows you for more range of motion shoulder flexion. Now, if you're talking about transferring force and you really want to get handstand push-up to planche, which you need to have a protracted scapula, then working the pike push-ups on a protracted scapula might give you more strength than doing it on a retracted scapula. As you can see, it's a hard exercise. Don't try to do regular elevated pike push-ups if you don't feel comfortable on this position yet. At least get 5 of those with good form. Record yourself. Make sure that, for example, if you tend to wing your scapula, I have a small, sometimes big winging of my scapula, so I do a lot of protraction just because I really want to strengthen my serratus. Does that mean that that is the correct form? Not at all. If your shoulders are completely fine and retraction allows you for a greater range of motion, by any means go ahead and do so. Long tip, just one more, your head position. I know it looks prettier if we go here than if we go here. However, if I'm here and I put my hair here, especially with my new haircut, you reduce the range of motion. I got that from Yuri, last name I forgot, Yuri Handbalancer, you guys know it. And he basically opened my eyes with that because I was trying to keep my head neutral just because it looks better. You can elevate your hands and allow for greater range of motion, but it reduces actually range of motion because of your head position. Now, a slide extension doesn't mean crank out your neck and create super horrible bad patterns from your neck. It just means a slide extension, so you allow your chin to touch the floor. He says actually chin or kiss the floor, make a sound, or instead of actually just smashing your head. Now, if you're going for form and performance, and if you're doing a full handstand push-up, then a neutral neck would be most prettier. Pike push-ups, elbows in, don't far out, lean forward, be patient, scapula naturally depressed, and don't rush into elevated pike push-ups until you can master that one. And I believe that's it. It's a pretty complex movement. It's a movement that if you don't get a hang of it, my last tip would be work on shoulder presses. First of all, build that regular shoulder, adequate shoulder strength, and then move on into mastering your own body weight, as well as working with regular push-ups. Last one, the angle. The angle of leaning. You want to be going to this direction. If we're doing a handstand push-up and you bring your elbows in, we are moving in a sagittal plane from to back. Basically, this is like you're pressing in this motion. Now, we can also press in this motion, and we can do a handstand push-up in this motion if your mobility allows you, and if you don't have any problem, then you will be moving only in the frontal plane. Now, the most typical handstand push-up and the gymnastic handstand push-up, and the one that looks prettier, I guess, and safer, is with your elbows in. So that's why this is more carryover to that actual handstand push-up. Now, how much in? It depends on you. You can go completely in, or you can go into a 45-degree angle. What I don't want to see is this, unless you know what you are doing and you just want to go completely vertical in a handstand push-up. If not, if you bring your elbows in and you lean, there is no way in nature that you can do a handstand push-up straight and be like going up by moving the sagittal plane. Why? Because of balance. I can do it right here standing, but if I am in the floor and I try to do that, my weight is always going to go forward. How my body compensates is by arching no, like getting into a diagonal angle, leaning forward, keeping that core engaged, and then pushing myself ideally back up, and then twisting up, which is transferable. But that is for handstand push-up. Just keep a slight lean, keep the elbows right above the wrist. Use a tempo of 10x1 would be good. Keep contraction both at the top, finalize with a strong elevation, finalize with keeping tension at the bottom, unless you're on purpose releasing tension to back up and reactivate that tension, but only if you're doing it on purpose. Know what you're doing, but most importantly, know why you're doing it. That's it for today, guys. See you guys tomorrow. Peace out. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and leave down below what else you want to see on this channel. We are running a Valentine's Day special, 50% off the entire store. So if you love somebody, or if you don't, make sure to pass by our store and grab any gift that you would like to offer to your loved ones or to the ones that you don't love. With that being said, guys, I'll see you all next week. Much love.